Hi everybody, I'm the inspirational Andy Murray from WhatCulture Wrestling, and in the words of S Club 7, there ain't no wedding like a Wilborn wedding.
And I'm self-help guru Adam Cleary. Amazed. Coming up today, we have a WWE star debuting in Impact.
I have a potential injury update on Randy Orton.
Your absolute fave looks like she's returning at SummerSlam.
And this is the news.
This is the news, right?
This is the goddamn news. And I tell you what, we are going to start things off with a little talk on SummerSlam, August 11th, Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Soon.
Very
that
soon.
has crept up on us.
Somehow, Extreme Rules is only in 6 days. Anyway, we have a potential card spoiler-ish thing for that. Undertaker, he's back. He's going to be teaming with Roman Reigns to face Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre this very weekend at Extreme Rules. He also recently, apparently, according to reports, picked out Drew as a potential singles opponent after the disaster that was Super Showdown, and according to local advertising in Toronto, it looks like we're going to get that singles match at SummerSlam. Now, of course, the usual card is subject to change. Disclaimer applies here. We can't say for sure that this is going to happen, but it's being featured on posters. It's on local advertising and materials that have been passed out. Interesting match. Probably fits the bill as like a big athletic guy who can maybe carry the Undertaker.
I mean, he can physically carry the Undertaker,
yes.
but no doubt about that. I love this story when it first broke, that the Undertaker had sat down and gone, who is the man for me to pick up the shattered bones of my career and the shattered bones of Goldberg's neck and make everybody forget about the entirely non-canon event in Saudi Arabia? And he scanned through the roster and he went, him, the big Scottish man. So I think it'll be good. I can't remember the last time I saw Undertaker work a man who was physically bigger than he is. And I think Drew just about is. It's going to be your atypical WWE watch the big men hit each other, except in this case, one of the big men is needing to be like carried up and sort of gestured around the ring. I wish he'd stop still. I really wish he'd just stop, because he's done enough for wrestling and for me and for fans and for the company. He has done his time. I just want him to, I'm not going to say rest in peace, because that's some Wilborn part of that. I just want him to just sit in a nice comfy chair with a little towel over his head so the sun can't get at his goth skin and just enjoy his old age.
Yeah, I mean, in your words, in your immortal worlds, what did he look like when he came out on Monday Night Raw after
On Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, Andy Murray, he looked like an old man getting out of the bath.
Yeah,
like you'd walked in, your granddad was like, oh, granddad, you're not, the water's gone all cold, granddad, come on, we've got to get you out. He's like, oh, I didn't want to be a bother. Walking down to the ring and then booting Elias. It's just, I love the guy. He's such an important part of my childhood, but just stop, please.
Calm yourself down,
Please
Mark.
stop.
Either way, let's see what can happen. Let's see if Drew can be the one to coax a pretty decent match out of The Undertaker at 54 years. 54? 54
If he's going to do it, I'd rather it was a good match. I'm not going to I'm not going to be down on it. If it's happening, it's happening. There's nothing I can do about it. So I'd rather it was good than just me going like, nah, you can do it because you're too old. Anyway, something else that could be happening at SummerSlam, some other marketing information that has been released, concerns the return of a one Sasha Banks. Now, we've not seen her since WrestleMania, of course, where she lost to the, I'll have to do it for Will Morning, he's not here, and they lost the tag team titles. We heard a number of reports that they were promised long runs, runs across all the brands, and then it was kind of out of nowhere that they lost them at their first major defense of the belt. And then such, we heard all these stories that she was riding around on the locker room floor and she wanted her release, and then they talked about maybe letting her go and she was going to wind down her contract, but then they told her to go and think about it, and she had this meeting with Vince in May. But since then, we haven't really heard anything until last week, and we got those reports that she was filming stuff for 2K for the next WWE game. But Pro Wrestling Noah's social media has revealed that she's in Japan having lots of fun with all the stars of Pro Wrestling Noah. And then, after that, the poster for SummerSlam has been released and she is on it. So we're expecting an in-ring return or something on WWE television soon enough, because they wouldn't be daft enough to put her on the poster if she's not going to be there.
It's hard to kind of break this down again, because again, it's the card subject to change thing, but this is material that has been passed out and so forth, so generally you should be able to take it at face value. Sometimes you can't. We'll see what happens with this. I remain dubious towards some of the reports that have come out in recent weeks suggesting that a return is imminent, mainly because they haven't come from the likes of Ryan Satin and Sean Ross Sapp. They've come from other reporters. No shade at Shagger Dave. Love you, Dave. The social media activity over the weekend was very strange. It's almost like she's sitting there going, look at me, I'm hanging out with Naomichi Marufuji and Joshi wrestlers. That's a really terrible Sasha Banks impression. Wasn't actually a Sasha Banks impression.
I was going to say, it's like your Sasha Banks.
Either way.
Just do this.
Boss
That's
stuff. all
It
that.
was interesting. I mean, don't get me wrong, that kind of stuff. You're a WWE wrestler who's not been seen on WWE television. You are pictured with the stars of another company. That's an immediate news grabber, isn't it? People are going to report that. So to me, that feels fairly smart. If she's about to make a return, it reminds people who she is. And the poster thing's interesting because it's not as if they're short of women to put on a poster.
No.
They've got a lot of good feuds going on at the minute, a lot of other big stars. The division has moved on way beyond Sasha in the last 2 months, for better or for worse. So it's not like they were struggling for a name or a face to put on there. So yeah, I'd like to see her back.
Either way,
the division's poor without her. Then
I just want to see her doing things again, regardless of the company. Randy Orton, this guy has not been seen since Super Showdown. Presumably, that match with Triple H is still going on somewhere because he hasn't been seen since. Actually, I'm just being a fanny as usual. He's actually been injured. If you're wondering why we haven't seen him much at all, really since WrestleMania, he was dealing with a neck problem. This comes to us via Fightful. He has experienced some neck stuff. Unfortunately, he kind of jammed his neck up while working Aleister Black on a recent house show. I believe it was the 10th of June. That coincided with some scheduled vacation time that he already had booked. So WWE said, take another couple of weeks, rest up, heal that bad boy up, and come back fit, good, and proper. Now, the good news about this is that it doesn't seem to be a serious problem. While Orton does have a history of neck problems, he had to take some time off in 2015 with a neck injury. It sounds like he'll be back on television very soon, and he has been linked with that mystery opponent slot for Aleister Black, the guy knocking on Aleister Black's door. Knock, 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 pick a fight with me, those stupid segments. Might be Randy Orton at the end, might get that singles match at the weekend.
How would you feel about that? Would you be happy with it as Randy Orton?
I think it would be fine. Orton's a guy that with immense credibility that you can have Aleister Black defeat. If Randy Orton goes in there and beats Aleister Black, it's a
bit of a weird move.
It is. And Orton, you know, he's a guy who still elicits a lot of meh reactions from a lot of people, but he has been a tremendous heel over the past year or so. I think it could be a really good match.
I've come round in the last few years. I think I've been educated in the ways of Randy Orton because it was always like, oh, here we go, Randy Orton. I just remember it from like the sort of big lapsed period everybody has. Like, oh, I'll go back onto WWE. What's the main event? Why, it's Batista versus Randy Orton, just like it was last year. And I've always kind of been a bit sour on him, but having heard how much all the other wrestlers love working with him because he's so slick and so smooth and so good.
Safe, yeah.
Yeah, I've kind of got a newfound respect from the last few years, and I would be happy for Aleister Black to work in because that's the kind of pairing you never expect to see, is it? Like the WWE's immortal Randy Orton versus Tommy End. That's just the kind of thing you like to put together, doesn't it?
Exactly. No, you know what the thing I like the most about Randy Orton is?
His tattoos.
He worked out very, very early in his career that all you really need to be over is number one, be really sexy.
Yeah.
And number two, have a bunch of cool moves.
Or have just one really cool have one meme as a finisher.
Yeah, that's it.
I'd go for that.
That's it, brother. I respect that. I respect the hustle. Let's see him back. Let's see him versus Black. Why not?
Speaking of having a meme as a finisher, which I believe a spear is because people just do it in the swimming pools all the time on goal. Yeah, Rhyno is back. The first time we've seen him since the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at this year's WrestleMania. You may remember before that, it was December last year when he had that loser gets fired match against Heath Slater, and then he lost, but then he was on television 2 weeks again anyway. And he's been doing lots of house shows since then. He's still been around even if you haven't seen him, but he has now appeared in Impact.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Slammiversary this weekend, he appeared out of nowhere to attack Michael Elgin. Of course, that is WCPW World Cup star.
Indeed.
Canada's Michael Elgin.
Internet's favourite
Michael Elgin. So yes, he's in Impact now. For how long for? We're not quite sure. What kind of role they're going to give him? We're not quite sure. But he's, again, somebody who you like to see working.
Yeah, this is the latest in a long recent string of old ECW guys showing up in Impact. Don Callis obviously going back to the well of nostalgia, bringing in guys like Rob Van Dam, who wrestled on the pay-per-view, lost to Moose, Tommy Dreamer, Sabu, all these crazy old dudes are turning up. Rhyno recently said he wouldn't extend his WWE deal for any money in the world or something along those lines, and he walked at the end of it. Showed up in a hood last night, wasn't mentioned by name, but it looks like he's there. It looks like he's going to be a thing. Can Rhyno still be a commodity?
I think so. I mean, we saw like the last sort of 12 months or something in WWE, even though it was tag team stuff lower down the card, he could still go.
He's all right.
He's still in good shape for his age.
And he can pop the boys with that gore.
Well, exactly. You've got a meme as a finisher. That's all you ever really need in this kind of thing. And he's a handsome bloke.
He's a piece.
He's a human cue-boy, but he's still a handsome dude, and his finish is absolutely cool.
He's an enchanted chimney stack.
Is your appearing in a new promotion under a hood the best gimmick going, by the way?
I think it's
for the
It's top 5 dead or alive, I'd say.
One of my favourites.
Yeah, I'd say so.
We're on for a lean 15 here. This is quite nice.
Lean 15. Shall we move on?
Yes.
Speaking of memes, let's go to
On
Twitter.
to your questions, the fans.
So, great one here from a top fan of WhatCulture.com. Calls himself The Draw, all caps.
To Mr. and Mrs. Draw a son,
The. He asks, yo, Simon Miller 360. Simon's not here,
Simon's
unfortunately.
doing the news.
And at WhatCulture WWE, how about you finally give Impact Wrestling we deserve? What is that phrasing? We just had pay-per-view of the year. Hashtag The Draw. Can you unpack this one for me, please?
I think he means the credit we deserve, or the something we deserve. I assume he must have some kind of connection with Impact if he's saying we, or that he's just one of those fans that considers it a bit of a family thing.
Username.
We've heard that Slammiversary was absolutely excellent. We'll be catching up on it at some point this week.
Yeah.
But I wasn't staying up for it.
Yeah, I mean, who do you think this guy is? Semi Kulahun.
I think it's just one of those random letter number combinations.
Yeah, okay. It looks like he's used a real wrestler's picture there for his avatar as well. Because that looks like
Chris Jericho.
It looks like what was that hacker, the orange fake tan hacker guy from NXT?
Oh, Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. No, Solomon Grundy.
Solomon Grundy.
That's the one.
Played by Russell Crowe. In the film The Crow.
Yeah, I didn't expect to get a roleplay account in the mentions today, but thanks.
You going to be catching up with Slammiversary?
Yeah, no, I'll definitely check it out.
Moose is on it, so that's me sold.
Yeah, I heard Elgin versus Michael Cage was a right beef. Michael Cage? Brian Cage versus Michael Elgin was a beef slapper. Tessa Blanchard wrestled in the main event, which I'm all for because
everything Tessa
phenomenal.
Blanchard good's really good.
Yeah, definitely going to have to check that one out.
So we'll have to see if it's pay-per-view of the year, mind. There's some stiff competition in 2019.
Big claim from Draw the blue tick.
Big claim from Impact fan The Draw.
It's not actually a blue tick, is it? It's an emoji.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. Anyway, let's move on. Another question here from Adarsh Singh. He asks, if you could change one trend from modern day wrestling, what would it be and why? P.S. Congrats on the wedding, Adam Wilborn. We should probably say that, shouldn't we?
We'll get to that at the end. It depends what you mean by a trend from modern day wrestling, because one thing that's recurring, I hate the ad breaks in WWE. Like the times I've had to watch, I haven't had the luxury of being able to catch up on it. I've had to sit and do it live for content purposes. The way the matches are all built around them and they cut to them. I know they've changed that in the last couple of weeks, but just the fact that they exist at all in the middle of segments. Whereas when I was growing up, they used to go to commercial breaks after things had happened. But I know now it's a trend. You got to make sure you come back because you want to see. Just make the product entertaining. And I'll come back and I'll just stick through the ad breaks. I tend not to flick much in the middle of a program.
Yeah, same.
It's just unnecessary.
Stick with the whole thing.
You want to get rid of the hooded reveal, don't you?
No, I love the hooded reveal, man. I don't know if my trend, I would love to see WWE put an end to the years-long habit they have of having the guy who is losing on the pay-per-view standing tall at the end of the go-home show.
They tend not to veer from that now, do they?
Yeah, it's such a big tell. It ruins every match. Let's go on to our final question.
They're not the only people to do that, by the way. We shouldn't just lay the blame at WWE's door for that one. I've seen a lot of promotions do that.
It's a very sports entertainment thing to do. Give them some shine because they're losing at the weekend. It's just boring and predictable. Think of something else, guys. Come on! This one's from Dawood Iqbal. Final question today asks, with WWE teasing Undertaker versus Sting these days and also releasing WWE Reimagined, do you think that they could actually have a match in the near future, maybe at the next Saudi event?
Right, so we will say, as I've already said before, Saudi shows are not canon. They are just you and your mate firing up 2K and doing something daft with, but with people's actual necks and spines and livelihoods on the line. So with that in mind, no. The last time Sting got in a WWE ring, he was nearly rendered unable to wrestle for the entire rest of his life. Seth Rollins effectively retired him with a relatively innocuous bump.
Yeah.
In the same match, by the way, that Sting decided it would be a good idea for him to start falling backwards through tables that still had all the monitors and everything put on them. No. These people have given their lives and their bodies and their time and their careers and everything to me, to you, to this business. Just let them rest, let their legacies shine on forever. Let us not have to watch them crawling around a ring because they've gone 5 minutes and their backs hurt.
So in conclusion, it's definitely happening.
Oh, it's definitely, that's the thing. The reason that, it's definitely,
Let's move on to today's, and finally, of course, if you watch this channel, if you follow us on social media, if you know anything about WhatCulture Wrestling, you will know that the great man Adam Wilborn was married to his lovely bride this weekend at an undisclosed location in England. We have a wonderful sign here from Johnny Cage's stunt double on Twitter, who attended the G1 Climax's opening night in Dallas, Texas on Saturday, the day of the wedding. Couple of signs here. Number one, the least important, give this an up, #push. Thank you very much.
Good.
And the second one here, congrats at Adam Wilborn on getting married. Thank you so much.
Can't confirm as well, it was an absolutely magical afternoon.
It was a hoot. It was a hoot and a half, brother.
Like, not be down on weddings, but like weddings are always like purpose built to be like magical and special, and everything's got to be so nice. And 9 times out of 10 it's like, yeah, this is fine. It was genuinely one of the nicest weddings I've ever been at.
10 ups and 0 downs.
10 up to 0. Oh, should we do ups and downs for all of them?
Let's do ups and downs.
Number 1, Michael Hamflett's waistcoat.
Number 2, the wedding.
And that's it. That's all we got for now.
The other day was a really magical time. Thank you for passing on your best wishes to our brother. West Bishes. He will be back tomorrow,
I've heard, yeah.
I think. Anyway.
According to the schedule I've been given for the news for the week, he's back tomorrow.
We've got 20 seconds to get a lean 16 here. Thank you very much, Andy Murray. You can send your Twitter questions to us at WhatCulture WWE. You can find Adam Cleary at
Adam Cleary, CLERY.
And you can find me at Andy H. Murray. The H stands for happy. Goodbye. Lean 16.